footballing footsteps leading to the famous Mohan Bagan Athletic Club. The path that this football player has trodden on for over 3 decades, as a boy, as a national and international star, as an administrator and a club lover. His name, Sobhimal Goswami, almost universally known as Chuni Goswami. India's golden period in international soccer was from 1955 to 1965, and it was during this time that Chuni shone, a star like no other.
You started playing serious football at the tender age of 8 years when you joined the Mohan Bagan boys team under the tutelage of late B.D. Chatterjee in 1946.
Well, you are right, but I wouldn't call it a very serious football in the sense that nobody starts serious football at the age of 8. It's enjoyable football, certainly, and we are coming to a place where the football is considered the best in Mohan Bagan Club and East Bengal Club. Those are the days. And I was very lucky, I must say, that I was spotted by Mr. B.D. Chatterjee, late B.D. Chatterjee, who was the first Indian football coach in London Olympics in 1948. And he picked up me from Dishapriya Park when I was playing with all other youngsters. And I was very fortunate, as I said earlier, I got into this club at the age of 8 to play for the Mohan Bagan boys team. It was certainly very serious football, if you call it, but I would say it's the most enjoyable days I had in my day.
You started playing for the Indian team, the Indian football team, in 1955. Until 65, you were one of the stalwarts of the side.
Yes, precisely. I played first unofficial match against China team in Delhi in 1956. And that was my first match. In 55, I was selected to represent the Indian team in the Far Eastern trip, but I left it because of the reason that what shall I say, my aim to play for the All India varsity was more important than representing some exhibition matches in the Far Eastern countries. I thought that I must play for the Calcutta University and All India varsity football team. So I didn't go with the team. So that's why my first match was in the year 1956 when I played against China team.
From 55 to 65, for 10 years, you were a regular member of the Indian football team, a great side. Balaram, PK, Arjun Ghosh, Jarnail Singh. I think a very memorable team.
From 55 to 66, the last Indian, for the country I played against a Russian touring team in 66 in Madras. That was my last match for the country. So it should be 55 to 66. Yes, as you rightly said, that we have the great friends and great players with me. Balaram, PK Banerjee, Jarnail Singh, Arjun Ghosh, Thangaraj. And we had a lovely bunch of players, good friends, and we did well in the international arena at that time.
It is perhaps a unique achievement for an Indian football captain to have got as many as 3 medals under his belt.
Well, I'm lucky again. Yes, everybody knows that I won the gold medal in 4th Asian Games in Jakarta in the year 1962. We had a lovely team, as I told you earlier. Balaram, PK Banerjee, Thangaraj, and Campea, and Franco, Arjun Ghosh. But I must say it was also quite a good achievement in the year 1963-64 when we won the Asian Cup silver medal and 64 silver medal again in Mardeka tournament in Malaysia. And unfortunately at that time PK and Balaram was not with me. They have just retired, and I got only from the old bunch Jarnail Singh, who was a tremendous assistance to me and a great strength in the defense. And really it was a great moment for the Indian football team at that time that in 56 we got the 4th positions in the Olympics in Melbourne, and then 62 gold medal, and then 63 and 64 again 2 silver medals. Now at the present juncture, now at the moment we don't think to go anywhere near 50 within the 50s. That way we are really lucky, but fortunately we had a good bunch of players, 7 or 8 of them of international class. That was the reason for our success, I personally believe. And about the Asian Games gold medal, naturally that is the best performance of the Indian team outside the country in Jakarta against the hostile crowd against us, because there is some statement by our chief demission at that time against some countries, I don't remember exactly. The people got hostile against us, and against all adversaries, India could win the gold medal. and that is the first gold medal outside the country. Although we had a gold medal in the year 1951, and when Manada was the captain, but outside the country it was a great achievement against just hostile people. So that way it will be remembered, and for me it is a great moment, and perhaps the greatest moment of my life.
Chuni's skill with the ball, his phenomenal dribbling, his intuitive positioning, his deft shooting were the best that Calcutta soccer lovers had seen. He was idolized by the ardent Calcutta fans, but his skills were not restricted to football alone. Like all natural ball players, his intrinsic ability was expressed in other games like lawn and table tennis, and of course, in cricket. And it was in cricket, a secondary game for him, that he achieved laurels which others only dreamt about.
You were equally proficient in cricket as well. You played for the Bengal schools team in 1952.
It's just like any other boy in Calcutta. I played football, cricket and all other games simultaneously. Maybe I had a bit of proficiency in other games as well. And yes, you can say that my first competitive match I played in cricket, representing Bengal school team against Bombay and Bihar in the year 1952, when I was just appearing in the school final exam. That's 1952. What could be the age now? 38. I was born in 38, and it is 14 years old boy. But then gradually I was playing football and cricket simultaneously till such time I arrived in the year 1957 that I thought it seriously to play football more seriously, concentrating on football.
It must have been a dilemma to choose between football and cricket at that time.
No, what happened exactly, because I got in the cricket arena also, as I told you earlier, that simultaneously with football. But until such time, I captained the Calcutta University team in the year 1957 in football and cricket. I thought that I must choose one of the games so that I concentrate more. And people started saying that I had more talents in football, and naturally I thought that I must concentrate on football. But I had back of my mind, I had cricket all the time as well.
Though not as illustrious as football, but you played for the state team with success for 10 years, from 1962 to 1972. It must have been a brilliant experience.
I was very keen on cricket right from the beginning. As I told you earlier, that I represented my cricket in the representative game first, before football, prior to football. And I loved cricket in a big way. And I thought that I'll be a test cricketer over a period of time, but people wanted me other way. I switched over from cricket to football, and I have no regrets for any of the games. But luckily, I did well also cricket to some extent, in the sense that I played for the state and the East Zone and the combined zone. I still remember that I played against West Indies in the year 66 for combined zone, East and Central, and beat them by an innings. And I've got small contribution in the winning the match, having taken 8 wickets and 2 catches, some 20-odd runs, some bits and pieces here and there, and played Ranji Trophy final, 2 Ranji finals I played. And I got hundreds in Renton Barrier, in the Ranji Trophy, and all big first-class matches I had. So that way, it sounds very bragging, but because I enjoyed cricket to a great extent, and I play occasional cricket matches even now.
His fame was increasing in leaps and bounds. Bouquets, awards, adulation followed him wherever he played. Together with skilled co-players, he took football in India to dizzying heights. International awards followed. Gold medal at the tumultuous Jakarta Asian Games in 1962. Silver medal in the Asia Cup in 1963. Runners-up when he was captain of the Indian team in the Merdeka tournament in 1964. Captain against many foreign teams. Certificates for the best football players and countless trophies. The Padma Shri Award. And of course the Arjun Award in 1963. Though there was a second motive when he went to Delhi to receive it.
You were awarded the Arjun Award in 1963. I'm
right.
sure it must have been a very proud
I tell you,
moment.
Manoj, the circumstances under which I got the information. We were playing Delhi in the Ranji Trophy in Delhi. And we were thrust all around by Vijay Mehra, Rajendra Goyal, and Akash Lal and Gyan Prakash, name a few, and all top class. They are fine cricketers, and we were beaten almost. We had no chance in the match against them, and we were not doing well. I was one of the team members of the Bengal cricket team, but in the break, somebody in the dressing room came up to me and said, "Chuni, I congratulate you." I was surprised. I was taken aback and said, "Why?" That you congratulations for my bowling. I thrashed all over the places, or batting. I didn't get much of runs. No. You got the Arjun Award for the year 1963.
We got married very young age. That was 1964, 10th February. He got Arjun Award that year. We went to Delhi after our marriage to receive Arjun Award, and that was our honeymoon.
You have scored many goals, but is there any one you would like to recollect?
I was not basically a scorer as such, because I got a lot of goals for my Mohan Bagan team and the Indian team. First, I don't know how much I did, how many I scored, but essentially I was a game maker and a midfield player. Now, maybe I'm on the mold of Platini and Maradona. They didn't score enough, but they did score. So I did for my country from behind, and creating opportunities for other strikers, and taking the responsibility to build up the team in the midfield region, and controlling the ball, dribbling here and there and passing. So basically I was a game maker, and giving a shape to the team all the time as an inside forward. Those days we had not two striker, one striker, two wingers, and three halfbacks, and inside forwards were there. Different systems. But whatever the system it was, basically I believe that ball control is no substitute, and fortunately God has been very kind to me that I was depending much on the ball control, and I could manage in the midfield, creating opportunities for other football players, strikers as such. So basically I'm not a scorer, but in the process I got a lot of scores certainly.
Chuni Goswami with a football created magic. There are many who came to watch him practice, and many still do. One of his secrets was a close attention to physical fitness, and he still is a fanatic about it. Jogging in the morning and strenuous physical exercises afterwards is still a part of his daily routine. His basic football skills were a model for any football trainee, and everyone thought that after retiring from active football in 1968, he would share and impart his vast skills and knowledge to the youngsters as a coach.
There's a lot of hue and cry nowadays about foreign coaches. Do you recommend them?
Coaching is very important, certainly. Coaches are also important, but I personally believe that should be an interaction between the foreign coaches and the local coaches. And they must make a big base for Indian coaches who knows the temperament, they knows the background of an Indian football player, and at the same time he can have a very clear-cut communication with the Indian players who are not very apt in English language. And language should not be a great problem as such. I know that football itself has its own language. Trap a ball, pass a ball, dribble, it can be understood by anybody, an illiterate footballer. But basically the temperament is most important. Now if a chap comes from Germany, or for that matter from England, with his background he doesn't understand what is the difficulty with the local and domestic football players. He doesn't know what kind of situation obtaining at his residence. He doesn't know what does it do for his own living. This kind of psychological aspects he can't really visualize, personally, I believe. But certainly as far as the techniques, tactics and other aspects of the game are concerned, it is good to have foreign coaches, and our Indian coaches should learn from them and can so really translate into reality to those Indian football players. It is good to have foreign coaches, certainly.
You were the best footballer in Asia in 1962. Indian football had a reckoning at that time. But nowadays we barely produce any international class footballers.
There are quite a few good football players, but there is not enough good footballers all at a time. Now, sir, Baichung is a lovely football player now, I understand, and is a good, and I've seen him, he's quite good. But if there could be another 6 Baichungs in the team. In our time, Balaram, P.K. Banerjee, Jarnal, everybody is fairly comparable with each other. And that is the most important reason that we don't make a good team, number one. Number two, perhaps we are not progressing to the extent the other teams or other countries are progressing because of economic development. The latest we are not having. The infrastructure facilities could be. And that's most important, a good balanced diet at a very early stage. Ours is still a developing economy where the youngsters are not getting enough calorie valued food at the very early stage. Until such time they come up to level, they don't get a good sufficient balanced diet. Our boys coming from the lower rung of the society, football players I'm talking, essentially, they can't afford shoes when they walk, they go in slippers, they go in bare feet, and naturally when they go to football matches they are asked to put on boots. So that is a very unfortunate thing for them to carry on with a load straight away at the age of 8 to 9 years. In our days, and even in Brazil if you watch it out, that the youngsters play on the sea beaches barefooted. Because I'm talking of this because of the reason they have a touch of football, a feel of football at a very early stage in bare feet. That's most important. In our days when we were in Calcutta, there were very small tournaments and in under-high tournaments, 4-10, 5-2, 5-1. There's a lot of tournaments when we used to play barefoot in the parks, in the small piece of land, in the background, in the backyards of your house. So there are, and we used to play in barefoot, and we had got the feel at the very early stage. And when the boot question of using the boot came in a big way in 1954, before 54 it was all barefoot. I personally played barefoot football for a very long time. We are asking to boys to start with the football boots right at the very beginning when they are not used to any kind of shoes in their normal life. And they don't have the feel of the ball. For Indians, with our shapes and sizes, I must say that we are not big-bodied essentially. On an average, we are small people. And we have to depend on skills, controlling skills and dribblings and passes and accuracy. That should be our main forte. And that should be our strong points. So now you don't have the skills, you don't have the dribbling power, you don't have the receiving quickly. We can't really fight out with the bigger people, the stronger people of the Western countries or even the Koreans and the Japanese.
Many of us were drawn to the playing fields like a magnet when Chuni was playing. But those who played with and against him day after day, how do they rate him?
I think Chuni was one of the all-time great footballer, I believe. He was most glamorous player, and he used to play very stylish football. For him only, the whole crowd used to come wherever Mohan Bagan used to go. He was a one-man show out of 22 players, and the whole crowd used to come to see him, and he used to oblige them by playing his glorious football. So it is not my observation, even all-time great goalkeeper Mr. Peter Thangraj also says he was one of the all-time great footballer. And Chuni used to work very, very hard and used to respect his gurus like Bala Chatterjee, Mr. Rahim. And still he follows the same old his training schedule. I think like Gavaskar said, he also follows this discipline, dedication, and other things to follow.
And now he can relax at home, far away from the battle of the playing fields.
You have achieved almost everything in life.
Don't tell me that. I have a lot to do, in fact. I'm not that old.
Are you a satisfied man?
Well, I have no regrets, certainly in football and cricket. With whatever little ability God gave me, I tried to brought out the best out of me. I was always a very hard-working man. I have nobody can say that I didn't work hard. I still work hard on my physical conditioning. But I believe that, well, as far as the Indian conditions, what it was obtaining and prevalent in my period some 30 years back, I could achieve whatever could be, in fact, because we didn't go to World Cup at that time as an amateur team, number one. We were content to play the Olympics and Asian Games. We did very well, number one in the Asian country for a very long time, and we did very well in the Rome Olympics. And our performance in international level is fairly, very, very good, I must say. So that way I have no regrets, certainly.
If a youngster came to you and asked for a prescription to become a footballer, what would you recommend?
There is no specific recipe as such. I don't think so that you do this and you become a good footballer. For all sports, for all disciplines, I can tell you, you ask Gavaskar, for that matter, you ask anybody, there is no substitute for hard work. And if you are talented, you have to bring out the best through a lot of hard practice.
As Chuni Goswami drives off after his fabulous career, we can only wonder, when will there be another like him?